If you always choose what's easy, life is going to be very hard. But if you choose to take on hard things willingly, life becomes much, much easier. That idea sits at the center of this video. It's probably one of the first lessons that I would want my son to understand. Because almost everything meaningful in life begins with a very simple premise: respecting yourself enough to do what you said you were going to do. It sounds obvious, but most people would say they respect themselves. But when you look around, you'll notice something very interesting. A lot of people have goals, they talk about what they want to achieve, and they make plans. And then slowly, quietly, they let themselves down. They skip training sessions, they delay the work that they said they were going to do. They start breaking small promises to themselves. And over time, small broken promises begin to erode something very important: their self respect. And real self respect isn't arrogance, it isn't ego. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Self respect is simply recognizing that if you want something in life, you have to earn it through effort. If you want to be good at a sport, you need to train properly. If you want to build a business, you need to learn the correct skills and put the hours in. If you want to improve in your life, you have to make choices that support that goal. And when you respect yourself, you don't allow yourself to drift through life, doing just the bare minimum. You hold yourself to a high standard. Now, a lot of people think that motivation is the key to achieving these things, but motivation is entirely unreliable. Some days you wake up feeling driven and focused. Other days you feel tired, distracted, or simply not in the mood. If you rely on motivation, your progress will always depend on how you feel that day. Discipline is the difference. Discipline is doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It's going for the run even when it's bad weather outside and you're too tired. It's studying when your phone is full of distractions. It's sticking to your plan even when no one else is watching. And what discipline really does is create momentum, because success rarely comes from one big heroic effort. I really wish it did. It comes from small actions repeated every single day. Sleeping well one night won't transform your life, but sleeping well consistently for months will sharpen your mind and improve your health. Training once won't make you an athlete, but training every single day for a year will transform your body and your abilities. People often underestimate how powerful this daily consistency is. They think success comes from a breakthrough moment, but the real breakthrough is simply showing up every single day when others don't. And if you want to maintain discipline, you have to protect your goals with boundaries. Every serious ambition requires sacrifices. If you want to be the best player on your team, that means saying no to things that get in your way. Late nights, poor diet, wasted time. If you want to excel academically, you need boundaries around distractions like social media or gaming. If you want to start a business, you must dedicate time to learning, planning, and building something. Those boundaries act like guardrails. They keep you aligned with the direction you've chosen. Without them, it's very, very easy to drift. And drifting is what causes many people to waste their potential. I learned this lesson personally through sport. When I was younger, I had all the natural talent in the world. As a kid, I was one of the best footballers and best cricketers in my club. I've got a whole bunch of trophies in a box in my old room. But talent alone doesn't carry forever. As I grew older, I went through periods of being very distracted. I got myself overweight, I was smoking, I wasn't training properly. And people started to see me differently. They didn't think I could perform. Later in my 20s, after a difficult moment in my life, I decided to get fit again. And I lost weight, trained seriously, and suddenly I was playing some of the best football of my life. Then again, in my 30s, there were periods where I stopped playing sport entirely. And now, as I write this book for my son, I'm probably stronger and fitter than I've ever been. But what's interesting is that throughout these periods, People's opinions of my abilities changed at every stage. But in truth, they were correct on all of them. The determining factor wasn't my talent, it was my discipline. And when I lived with discipline, routine, training, I performed well and people thought I was talented. But when I abandoned those habits, people thought I was useless. If you want to become something, an athlete, an entrepreneur, or a professional, you must act like it every single day, not just when it's convenient. Another dangerous trap people fall into today is the idea that success is somehow just granted to certain people. Social media makes it look like some individual suddenly becomes successful overnight. But what you often don't see is the years of work behind the scenes. Nothing valuable comes without effort. The day you accept that no one owes you success is the day that you begin to take real control of your life. Because once you understand that your outcomes are your responsibility, your decisions start to change. You stop waiting and you start building. And something really interesting happens when you consistently follow through on your commitments. You begin to trust yourself, and that trust becomes confident, not loud, boastful confidence. I'm talking about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. Your mind is always watching your behavior. Every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken that trust. And every time you follow through, you strengthen it. Even small habits matter. Making your bed in the morning is the classic famous one, or going for a short run like you said you would, or reading a few pages of a book that you're trying to get through. These actions seem trivial, but over time, they build the identity of someone who follows through. And that identity becomes very powerful. Now, it's important to understand that discipline isn't something you achieve once and then keep forever. It's an ongoing practice. Life will disrupt your routines. You will have difficult weeks. You will slip up. Everyone does. The difference between disciplined people and everyone else is that they return to the routine as quickly as possible. They don't let a bad day become a bad month. They reset it. Even the most disciplined people in the world fight this battle every single day. People like David Goggins talk openly about waking up some mornings and just not wanting to go on that run. The difference is that they do it anyway. Discipline isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And one final thing to remember is that discipline isn't about perfection. Many people fail because they think if they can't do it perfectly, there's no point in trying. But that mindset guarantees failure. What matters is improvement. If you miss a workout, do one later. If you fall behind on something, make progress the next day. Discipline is simply the habit of getting back on track. This chapter in the book that I'm writing sets the foundation for everything else I'm going to talk about in the book and in the videos coming up. Because self-respect and discipline is the most important aspects that builds for everything else. It builds the base of confidence for that ambition and motivation to perform and achieve the things you want to do. If you want to become someone capable of handling life's challenges and enjoying the rewards, this is where the journey begins. So I'm writing this book for my son. I thought every son needs to hear wise words from their father. Not all of us have the opportunity to hear those words. Some people's fathers are not in the picture. Some people's fathers are in the picture, but just aren't capable of, handing over life's lessons to help them get a leg up. I'm recording this video for my son because I wanted to structure what I wanted to teach to him and help him become a man that will be successful in life, because life is very, very hard, especially for young men. So I thought, what better way than to write a book? It's structured. I can make sure I get everything in. He's a young boy right now. He's 5 years old. I have a lot of time that I can sit down, really think it through, write it all down. And when he's old enough, perhaps as a teenager, he can read it himself, or I can sit with him. We can go through different chapters and discuss and really, really kind of iron out all the ideas, all the lessons I've learned, all the mistakes I've made, all the, reasons why I do things to really, really help him become, a strong and disciplined young man that has every chance of success. So in the book and in these videos that I'm going to be posting on this channel, I'm going to be covering all sorts of things, the spectrum across life. I started this one with self-discipline, self-respect, and I'm going to be talking about relationships, friendships, work and career. I'm going to be talking about health and fitness. I'm talking about economics, investing, money management, you name it, I'm going to be covering it. Everything you can think of, I've been writing a chapter on it. The book's not finished yet, but I'm very, very, progressed along. I thought, let's start making some videos. Let's get this message across to as many people as possible. The channel's called Words for My Son. The book will be called Words for My Son and Yours. So I want this to be bigger than just for my son. I had that small kind of thought about keeping it just for my son, but I think, no, I have a lot to say. I have lived a big life so far. I'm almost 40 years old. I think I have a great deal of life lessons that I can impart and explain to people. And YouTube is a great format for that. I have lived around the world. I've worked in humanitarian aid, so I have experienced life in conflict zones, in disaster zones. I have partied heavily. I have studied a great deal. I have lost loved ones. I have made many mistakes. I've lost friendships. I've gained great friendships. I've done very well in investing. I initially was terrible with money management. I've been up and down with conflicts and social issues. All sorts of life lessons have been jam packed into, well, I say almost 40 years. I'm 39 years old. And I think I can record these videos because I am very good at speaking. I am very, very good at putting together information in a way that people can understand, teachable. So I hope that you will enjoy this channel. I hope you'll get a lot out of it. I hope you like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.